Coming up, an addiction treatment provider is expanding into the mountains.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. Since 1999, the nonprofit Isaiah House has been based in central Kentucky. This faith-based addiction treatment provider offers a full spectrum of services. WYMT's Zach Hawk reports from a community event in Hazard, where Isaiah House officials say they are now expanding into the mountains.
Taylor Neese is speaking to a crowd at the art station in Hazard, sharing her story of addiction recovery.
When I first thought I needed treatment, I was in and out of jail constantly, over and over again, and there was no way that I could help myself on my own.
For at least a decade, those close to Taylor encouraged her to get help.
My family cut me off, stopped talking to me, and that really hit home for me. Like, that was a lot.
Today, she is in active recovery, trying to inspire others to avoid the mistakes she made. She says a major part of her recovery was employment.
Having that role and that responsibility to help others and knowing that they look up to me, it's really helpful to my recovery as well.
Ed Early also battles addiction and is now the director of workforce development for Isaiah House. One of his major programs is Reliance Works, a grant-funded jobs program offering second chance employment.
This grant is based around three things, really. Employment opportunities for people in recovery, economic growth for the areas, and community development.
It started small with just 5 employees, but in the last few years, the program employed more than 150 people. Now, thanks to an Appalachian Regional Commission grant, the program is expanding into Eastern Kentucky. People like Taylor and Ed, who have been through addiction, say this is a chance to give back in a part of the state that needs it.
I was fortunate enough to get out. A lot of people aren't. And what we are hoping to do and what we want to do is give back what's been given to us.
I love to help others because I know how hard it was for me, and I had a lot of support. Had a really great system to help me and to push me, and I want to give back.
With offices in Beattyville and Irvin, Isaiah House officials tell us they will continue to expand into Eastern and Southern Kentucky. In Hazard, Zach Hawk, WYMT Mountain News.
The Reliance Works program is open to anyone in active recovery, including non-Isaiah House clients. Officials with the treatment program told us that their next step in Eastern Kentucky is to open transition houses to accompany the workforce program. New tonight, several departments responded to the scene of a fire at an apartment complex in Harlan. Officials with the Harlan County Sheriff's Office say they got a call from the Harlan high-rise apartment building around 8 o'clock tonight. The fire was reportedly on the 6th floor of the building. Crews from the Harlan and Sunshine Volunteer Fire Departments reported to knock it down, as well as officials with the Harlan and Loyal Police Departments. Officials tell us no serious injuries were reported and that the fire was contained around 9 p.m. Now, unfortunately, several people were displaced by the fire. They are being sent to the Harlan County Cooperative Extension Depot, which is located very close to the high-rise at 519 South Main Street. It's not known how many people were displaced.
After a mostly dry day around the mountains, we've seen a few showers head our way as we've headed into the evening and the overnight, and more of those on the way as we finish out this work week, the final Friday of the month of April. Heading in, of course, to the last day of April tomorrow. London Corbin Airport, all is quiet and all is dry at this hour, still hanging on near 60 degrees. Had to turn the sensitivity down on pinpoint Dopplers, picking up a lot of low-level moisture. But if you look really closely, we are seeing a couple of showers hanging out right now. Southern portions of Floyd County between McDowell and Weeks-Bury, south of Royalton and Salyersville right now. A heavy downpour into portions of Magoffin County. Everything here is slowly making its way off to the east as a warm front continues its trek through the mountains. And by the way, look out to the west. Big time thunderstorms across the Midwest pushing into the Kansas City metro right now. We'll have to keep an eye on that system for later in the week. Upper 50s, low to mid 60s around right now. Dew points getting up into the 50s, so we're bringing moisture back into the region as we head through the rest of the night. Now, I'll have the latest on when those showers move in earnest coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
Evan, thank you. The horse racing world is mourning after exercise rider Callie Witt died this morning in a freak accident at Keeneland in Lexington. The 20-year-old was thrown from a horse on the riding track just after 8 this morning. Witt, who is from Nebraska, was studying at Bluegrass Community and Technical College. Keeneland officials say she wanted to be a jockey, first working as an intern and then full-time as an exercise rider. Horse racing broadcaster and Eastern Kentucky native Kenny Rice says tragedies like what happened to Callie are rare and are a reminder of how precious life is.
The only sport I know of where an ambulance follows the participants is a horse race. And no matter what size horse race, all over the country. And that just shows you, there is that risk out there. When something like this happens, it magnifies that, and it's been very rare for something like this to happen at Keeneland.
When asked if this tragedy should lead to any safety changes or improvements, Rice said it seems that this was a rare accident that might spark some talk, but does not believe it to be an indictment on the danger of the sport, saying people in the industry understand that risk. In Johnson County, a man is facing charges for receiving stolen property. Deputies say Joshua Wallen is facing 2 indictments for receiving stolen property for $10,000 or more. Wallen is facing another charge of theft by deception, including cold checks. He was arrested yesterday. For the first time, the U.S. intelligence community is disclosing just how often it searched the electronic data of Americans last year. The Office of the Director of National Intelligence released its annual transparency report on Friday. The report says the FBI conducted up to 3.4 million warrantless searches on Americans' electronic data in 2021. That includes searching an individual's email address, name, and any other identifiers. The report notes nearly 2 million of those searches were related to a cyber threat from Russia. The FBI does not detail the particular threat, only saying it was against critical infrastructure in the United States. A gift from Gray Incorporated in Lexington is set to create a new home for the University of Kentucky's College of Design. The more than $5.2 million will go towards renovating the Reynolds Building, which is a former tobacco warehouse that's been sitting empty. It will create a space for students, faculty, staff, and programs all under one roof for the first time. Right now, it's not clear when the project will begin. If you're looking for a job, the University of Kentucky Police Department is hiring. They're looking for healthcare security officers. Experience is not required, and these are full-time positions. The deadline to apply is May 16th, and you can apply online. The East Kentucky Leadership Conference closed out its 34th event today, with board members already planning for next year. The event, hosted at the Appalachian Wireless Arena in Pikeville, brought attendees out to discuss how to make their communities into destinations. While the number of people involved was fewer than expected, organizers say they hope to see a better turnout for the next event in Hazard. Then they aim to include more young minds in the future.
We're thinking that we need to start that back because they brought so much energy, and it's so important to get young people involved in this whole leadership effort because that's really what it's all about.
Though the conference had a lower turnout, the award show Thursday still brought in a crowd as folks celebrated leaders from around the region. Baptist Health Corbin is looking for volunteers. They're looking for both teenagers and adults. Their teen program is for those ages 14 to 18. That program provides teens with experiences working in hospitals in several areas. You do have to apply, and the deadline is May 20th. Adult volunteers are needed to help with greeting visitors, clerical duties, and help in the nursery. A Harlan Independent High Schooler has won a major competition. Caleb McClendon, a junior, has won the Kentucky Youth of the Year Award from the Boys and Girls Club. Caleb has spent most of his life at the Kaywood-Ledford Boys and Girls Club and spent time as a junior staff member and mentor.
I started here when I was about 6 years old. My brothers and them came here before I was 6 years old, and I'd always come down and try to come, but I wasn't old enough to. So I started here when I was about 6, and I've been here ever since.
Caleb will now travel to Chicago to compete in the regional competition with a chance at $20,000 in scholarships. Caleb has already won $2,500 after winning the state competition. The University of Pikeville's Film and Media Arts program kicked off its 8th annual film festival, taking the stories from the campus into the community. This year's FMA Fest opened yesterday at the Appalachian Center for the Arts, inviting folks from all around to take in a wide variety of films, from short films to feature, from horror to more. Organizers and filmmakers say the free event offers a little something for everyone.
We've got a lot of different filmmakers coming out from across the region to see their work screened here live. A lot of them have been pent up with COVID and haven't been able to get out and screen work for a few years now, so that's just now starting back up, screening in person. And so they love to see people come out and watch their films and then stay and ask them questions after.
The festival runs through tomorrow evening. For a full schedule of showtimes, you can visit fmafest.org. The Johnson County Trail Day returns tomorrow, and folks are getting ready to hit the trails. WYMT's Jordan Mullins has more from the Johnson County Paintsville Trail Town Committee about all the fun.
The second annual Johnson County Trail Day is Saturday, and people are ready to enjoy the spring weather.
Everybody wants to be outside doing something, and we're no different here. We've got lots to do, and we want to showcase it.
And with several different events.
There's biking, horse riding, kayaking, walking, edible trail, downtown. I mean, there's just a lot to go, a lot of events, a lot to go to tomorrow, and I hope everybody gets out and comes and joins us.
Folks are invited out for a day to exercise, be healthy, and stay fit in more ways than one.
There's something for everyone, and the more we're out and active, the healthier a community we are, not just physically, economically too.
Boosting the local economy with family-friendly outdoor adventures.
I've seen in the last couple of years just how it has exploded. People are camping and RVs and, you know, just everything, and they're doing it as a family. They're doing it together, and I think that's awesome.
While celebrating the beauty of spring in Appalachia. In Johnson County, Jordan Mullins, WYMT Mountain News.
The first setup events kick off at 9 a.m. tomorrow. You can find the full schedule over on our website at WYMT.com. A 3-day music festival featuring Sunday Best continued tonight. The 2022 Kinfolk Reunion kicked off last night at the Jenny Wiley Theater and continued this evening at Archer Park in Prestonsburg. But if you missed tonight's show, you have another opportunity on Saturday night. Music begins at 5 p.m. with several acts before Sunday Best. You only need one ticket per vehicle. Coming up on Mountain News at 11, insulin prices becoming too much to handle for some diabetes patients. An investigation into the high cost and the profit pump.
And we're rapidly drawing April to a close, and it certainly feels like it outside. The latest details on a forecast that looks like late spring ahead next.
Here are